I am a resident of Colorwood for YouTube. Jules Sains, that is my buddy Patrick McCray. That is my buddy Alan Gallant. We are here to continue our Star Trek movie reviews with the last one, Star Trek Beyond.
Well, now, Jewel,
Why wasn't the villain in this movie Tom Waits?
Tom waits for no man. It may not be the last one. It depends what you categorize Section 31 as.
You mentioned that earlier.
That is true.
That's correct.
Well, this movie, which may not be the last one, is directed by Justin Lin, written by Simon Pegg.
Abrams is still a producer on it.
He is. That's all he is too. He is not involved in the writing.
Oh, well, that's a lot when you got that kind of money.
Yeah. But here's the thing: he's not the only one here too.
No,
Justin Lin is also here as a producer. Lindsay Weber, Roberta Orsi. There are four fucking producers on this thing. Cinematographer is Stephen F. Winden. Music by Michael Giacchino. Let's see. Holy shit! The companies that produce Paramount, Skydance. Holy shit, that's a lot. There's a lot. Release dates: July 7th, 2016, Sydney, Australia. July 22nd, 2016, United States.
That's your first warning sign. That late the summer release.
Yeah.
Budget.
Patrick, do you know what the deal is with them releasing these films in Sydney first?
I was about to ask that. I don't know. Maybe they filmed part of them down there.
Maybe.
The city
Possible.
stuff.
Yeah.
Sydney is kind of the Atlanta of the international scene.
Well, it's a happening place from what I understand, for sure.
Sure, and a lot of stuff gets filmed there because it looks generic. The makeup shot there.
As long as you don't get the opera house in the background, you're all set. Yeah.
Budget was $185 million. Box office was $343.5 million.
Still did okay.
And it still tanked the franchise. It tanked Star Trek as a commercially viable film franchise. Because they didn't fall all over themselves to make another one.
No, they didn't. And I'm sure there are a lot of reasons for that as well. But including cast members that sort of got other gigs and did other things. So
they're trying to nail down Chris Hemsworth because for the longest time they wanted Chris Hemsworth to come back as George.
They did, but he's doing another Thor movie. So
good. Yeah. At least they're making Marvel movies with Marvel characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. So guys, what did you think of the plot of this movie? Patrick, you go first.
I know you guys like this movie.
I like parts of it. I think it's flawed. It's definitely flawed, especially when you compare it to the last one and the one before in particular. Forget about that.
Well, it shares a lot in common. You have another crazy villain with a doomsday device, which we've been doing since Star Trek Nemesis.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I think it is a exceedingly poorly written movie. I think that the plot and the villain makes no sense. I think that at any point in this movie, you can kind of just hit the pause button and say, but why?
It's almost like they decided, let's plug another big star into the movie and see what happens.
Like we're gonna what is it? We're on a planet. We've mutated, so we're going to change our voices, change our language, change our names,
change into a 9-year-old Hindu boy.
Yeah, but we won't try and repair the ship.
It's very strange in terms of they never really explain that process of how they got shapeshifted and how they're trying to make their way back. That never got really explained.
With revenge.
Yes.
For them not showing up and looking at it, which is a really interesting topic.
Well, you could do things with it better than that.
Orville did.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the Orville episode that dealt with the Scott Grimes character.
No.
Well, it was great. It's Scott Grimes gets left on Earth in the past. They're doing some sort of time travel thing, and
I heard about this, and he doesn't want to go back.
yeah, 10 years have gone by for him,
Right.
and he doesn't want to go back, and they can't figure out what he has a wife and a kid,
Yeah.
and he's happy, and there's all this polluting the timeline stuff, and they have mature discussions about it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because Seth MacFarlane is a grown up,
Right.
and he's not going vroom vroom car.
Right.
Which is what Mr. Lin seems to be capable of. The whole reason Star Trek exists is so there is some place that Jonathan Lin has no business directing a movie, and the Beastie Boys have no business contributing a song.
Well,
it's where those of us who don't want to listen to the fucking Beastie Boys can go.
Yeah. Yes, it's true. Well, the whole thing is too. I think you're right about that episode of the Orville, which I've heard great things about.
It's terrific.
And that the whole point of Star Trek, if there is a whole point, a specific point to it, is having dialogue about these issues. Having reflection on issues, and having action in it too is fun. That's great, no problem. But that has to be inserted in a better way. I found this movie entertaining because of certain sections of it appeal to me, but putting them together wasn't right.
It's excruciating. I mean,
Right.
this is a movie I will confess, I have seen all of it in pieces, but I have been incapable of sitting, even in the theater. I had some of my first narcolepsy attacks.
Right.
Trying to sit through this thing. And now, albeit it was on a triple feature, which the studios were doing for a little bit, where about a week early, you get a ticket for all 3 Star Trek movies or all 3 of the Planet of the Apes movies, things like that. And Lullaby and Goodnight. Sleep was the only defense I had against it. And then I have tried to watch it since then, and it gets worse.
Yeah.
Worse, and it makes less and less sense. Here's Kirk. He's only been captain for a few years. He's got the coolest job in the universe, and he's bored.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just, you had me and you lost me. I don't know how old Chris Pine was when they made this movie, but
still in his 30s.
Still in his 30s, the age that the Shatman was when he took over the Enterprise.
Right.
So I just have trouble buying it. The characters are kind of, I don't know, charmless. There are a few good moments of Spock and McCoy, but just a few good moments here and there. And if you're going to have characters re-examine their lives, shift the emphasis to Spock and have him receive that letter about the Nimoy Spock, at the beginning of the first scene. And maybe it's because they love recycling things and counterpointing,
right?
And you have young Spock giving the eulogy for old Spock, and it's a variation on Kirk's eulogy.
Sure.
All my
and also the way they just stuck it in there was like, oh well, we have to stick it
really
in
obvious
tribute. It's really obvious that's what they did.
Like the picture of them all old.
Yeah.
Which I would have been much more interested in a photoshopped recreation of it, but with ageified versions of this cast.
Yeah.
Because you accept, okay, Zachary Quinto's going to grow up and be Leonard Nimoy. Yeah, sure, okay, because it's a condition of the first film.
Sure.
But the rest of them, no. I mean, Joel, you started out from a plot point of view. That's one of the weakest aspects of this movie. And it's like so many modern films. It is a movie that feels like it was written by the stunt coordinator.
It feels hastily written in a lot of ways. Like I said, there are a few places where it looked like they took the time to think it through, but when you connect, the connective tissue is just awful.
It really is. And I'm a company man. I love Star Trek. and when I have to excuse myself,
Mm.
but we were nearing the age of Star Trek Discovery, which would be an Alex Kurtzman production.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I think even the first, I think Star Trek '09 had John Eves and maybe even an Okuda or two helping out a little bit behind the scenes. I know John
Mm-hmm.
Eves did it. And so what you had there is that as long as they were around, I think Eves even contributed some stuff to this, but it doesn't really count. You still had some legacy. Say what you will about Enterprise or Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
It was the baton. You could trace the hands back to Gene Roddenberry.
Yes, and there was again getting back to that idea of that connective tissue. It was strong.
Yeah. And the break has happened, and it's happened hard.
Mm-hmm. Now we've got a different conglomerate owning the whole damn thing, and who knows what's going to happen with that.
Well, it may be good, it may be bad. At least they continue to produce new Star Trek stuff.
Yeah.
Which means that the product, because I've heard reports coming out of Paramount, this president of Paramount and that president of Paramount wants to kill Star Trek because it's not financially viable anymore. It could be.
Mm-hmm.
Very expensive things to do.
It is.
Strange New Worlds, I thought, had a marvelous first season, one of the best first seasons I've ever seen of a TV series. It kind of followed Star Trek in a way. The second season had some highlights, and the third season had no reason for happening. I mean, just I've lost. And I'm really dreading the fourth season. I hate that I've gotten to that point.
Well, sometimes creative juices just peter right out. Financing too makes a difference.
If you look at what we do in the shadows, its first season was very good. Second season was amazing. Third season was awful. But fourth season's not so bad. Fourth season has some good stuff in it.
Yeah. It's like they rejuvenated somehow.
The baby Colin Robinson, which have you seen the fourth season of that show?
No.
It's heartrending.
Yeah.
They do amazing stuff. And Matt Berry in the last episode, an actor.
You can get away with that after the audience knows the characters so well, because it starts out, it's a satire, it's doing this and it's doing that, and it's great for laughs and so on. The whole concept is great for laughs, but once you can start doing things like that once the audience has become familiar with these different characters, their idiosyncrasies, their connections, all of that sort of thing. You can start getting away with having things that don't have to be funny.
You can, but boy, that's a dangerous road to go down.
It is. It's
suddenly the whole thing becomes that.
Mm-hmm.
That happened with CBS Evening News, and I just,
I know, it was terrible. Goddamn Walter Cronkite ruined everything.
No sense. He lacked that Murrow.
Should have kept Eric Severide on. I mean, he was drunk every day.
That was funny. That was funny. Speaking of funny, I was a gag writer for years on Wall Street Week with Louis Rukeyser. I think he made that material up himself.
Somebody needed to be.
That I used to put that on resumes.
Yeah.
I was a gag writer for Wall Street Week.
Wall Street Week, yeah.
Just to see if people were paying attention.
Yeah. I wrote Nipsey Russell's poems.
Well, those are at least ostensibly funny.
Some of them were,
the problem with Wall Street Week is that there was nothing funny.
Nothing about it. No, it's true.
The Wall Street Week Daybook.
Yeah. Or I wrote William F. Buckley's gag lines.
Well, Buckley was funny though.
He not necessarily intentionally, but
not intentionally. But when Buckley was funny, he was a funny guy.
Yes.
I mean, this is a guy who said, "I'm being interviewed by Playboy because it's the fastest way for me to communicate with my son."
Yeah.
Bucky's a funny guy. Yeah. I mean, it's very funny. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right, but it's funny.
Knobby sort of, private school sort of way that he had.
And his son's extremely funny.
Yeah.
So development.
So rebellion.
Development for this Having directed and produced Star Trek 2009 and Star Trek Into Darkness 2013, J.J. Abrams returned only as a producer so he could focus on directing Star Wars The Force Awakens 2015, the first installment of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Writer-producer Robert Orci was announced as director in May 2014. He would have been making his directorial debut. However, in December, his role was also listed as producer, only with Edgar Wright considered to replace him as director, along with a short list of others, including Rupert Wyatt, Morton Tatum, Daniel Espinzala, and Justin Lin, and Duncan Jones. And Star Trek actor and director Jonathan Frakes expressed interest in the job. Thank God he did not take it. And at the end of the month, Flynn was announced as director. Now, this is my favorite part, screenplay. Okay, so in 2013, Orci had begun writing the script with Patrick McCray. So there you go. Yeah, but I'll say this about this movie.
I thought you were going to say Steven Seagal. I couldn't remember.
I would have made The Way to Eden the movie. I would have adapted
that. There are things I like about this movie. I do like some of the characters we get. I do like the female alien we get. Wrong villain, wrong plot is what this is. I did not like. I don't necessarily love Kirk sort of being like, because they made this feel like they did not want to be in space after 3 years, and it's like, dude, this is a job you said you loved. What happened? This is fatigue,
especially when they get a chance to go to Starbase every so often and raise hell. So I mean,
right. And I feel this movie should have been. I don't want to play Monday morning quarterback, but it should have started with you would have seen a member of Starfleet crawling on the deck of the Enterprise, and it would have been Kirk, all blooded up, and he's hiding. You would have been introducing the Gorn for the first time. That's who the villain should have been in this movie. But they didn't do that. A lot of this doesn't make sense. Like,
they don't fully explain this whole situation with the old crew that turns into this alien life form and somehow wants to come back. And the only way to do that is to suck the life out of other humans. What the
Scott moved to the starship.
Yeah,
we've talked about like lack of backstory before with some people with characters. That's what this is here. There's a lack of backstory. I mean, I get they're supposed to be menacing. I get that, but it's like,
they're relying on the impact of their presence, and they're showing how mean-spirited this dude is by the way that he treats other human beings and all of that sort of thing. Fine, but why? How? Other than you left us here, that's just not. That's
Rathacon.
Yeah. It is.
And this ain't that.
No, it isn't. Although they try. I mean, they have that scene with McCoy and Kirk. Kirk's birthday. But I'll tell you what. A scene like that is so inappropriately placed and so boringly written. I don't even call it ham-fisted. It's just so boringly written that it really, really makes you appreciate how they are able to do the counterpuntal callback in Star Trek Into Darkness about Kirk's death and the Intermix chamber. I mean, gosh, it makes that seem like Chekhov, and not the Anton. I got a big laugh once. A friend of mine is a theater guy. Tried to get a discussion started on something no one wanted to discuss, which was who does the best modern Chekhov, and I answered Anton Yelchin. And it took everyone a moment. Oh, who's he? What? And my friend said, "I saw what you did."
Indeed.
Or Anton Yelchin. I mean, the only
Ah,
the only
sorry.
thing can be said here is that his incredibly tragic and untimely death
Yeah.
uh, helped him avoid seeing Star Trek
This
Beyond
movie.
in theaters. Yeah, the only good thing to come from it. And yeah, God, that poor guy. What a
Hmm.
talent too.
Yeah. Very
Jeez.
talented. He's done a lot of other work.
There's
This
that
was,
vampire movie I keep talking about, that Jim
yeah.
Sharp vampire movie. And he's fantastic in it.
Yeah. He was on a couple of different television series as well. So
What did he do?
I have to look. Let's see. Anton Yelchin.
It felt like he had a very authentic accent.
Yeah, in spite of the, well, I mean, he was, I should say, Russian, but he was born in the United States, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Unlike Mila
so he
Jovovich.
probably had family members to draw from, in terms of that accent and all that sort of thing. Let's see. Um, yeah, well, he's born in the Soviet Union, but he was only 6 months old when he came to the United States. That's the whole thing. Anyway, he's in he's the kid in Hearts in Atlantis. Um, and he was in Hoff, which is a comedy drama series on Showtime.
Yeah.
He guest starred in an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And
What did he play in that?
I don't know. It just says his
Okay.
fame grew when he guest starred in a 2004 episode. So he must have made an impression on somebody. And when he played the title character in a movie called Charlie Bartlett.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah. He was born in Leningrad, which is now St. Petersburg, because he was born in '89, just before the wall came down. Yeah, but he was Southern California. He went to he went to a gifted school in Sherman Oaks.
Okay. Now, speaking of gifted school in Sherman Oaks, George Takei was not happy with this movie.
No, because he didn't think that it was a clumsy tribute to Takei to have apparently to have
Sulu like the gentleman.
Sulu like gentleman, right? To be gay. That's not separating the character from the actor, though, and I think he objected to that.
Yeah. Yeah, and he never played the part as gay. And
No.
That was, and it's funny though. The one piece of evidence that someone brought up to say, "Oh, Sulu's not gay," was the behavior mirrors Sulu towards Uhura. But I'm thinking that's a terrible example. This is a mirror universe.
That's right.
Exactly what he would be.
That's right. He'd be this bitchy gay guy that didn't like women.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, or wanted to be one of the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Or,
he'd be pursuing Uhura to sing more, songs, have more numbers.
Right.
Can you give me some Jerry Herman, please? Something.
And he keeps pestering Mirror Spock to teach him how to play that guitar thing.
The guitar. Yeah. Well, although then you have Sulu, and he's into plants. He's into floral arrangements and things. It's a nightmare. I can't figure this out. It's a nightmare of cliches and stereotypes, and I have no one to guide me.
Right. That's the point. You do not have a guide.
With no one beside me, and no one
And
go on my way, and after the day, the darkness will hide me.
The ultimate thing that really PO'd me was at the end where Elba's character has a change of heart.
Oh yeah.
No. He's been grinding an axe for 150 years. Oh yes, I'm changing my mind.
And what an interesting movie. What an interesting twist. What an interesting change is. Yes, he has a change of heart, and he lives. And Starfleet is there, and Federation is there to help him rejoin society, and that the fact that he has mutated into this other thing doesn't matter. That they are creatures of understanding and forgiveness, especially because part of it was their screw up, and that the core of Gene Roddenberry's message is that something like that wouldn't matter. And somebody asked, in the 24th century, wouldn't they have a cure for baldness for Captain Picard? And the Rod just said, Well, in 21st century, it won't matter.
That's right. Nobody cares about that stuff anymore. It's just
Yeah.
like there are more important things to do.
And here's a secret: women don't care. A few women fetishize hair. I'm getting into a separate thing, but really, en masse,
on average, they don't. You're right.
hair, as long as it's clean, hair amount is, unlike paramount, is to men and their self perception what breasts are to women and their self perception. That men are really not that hung up on them the way that many women are led to believe.
Right.
Anyway, that's a total tangent, but I had to say something interesting.
Okay.
The movie's not going to provide
Hey,
the
it
opportunity.
started with Picard. It's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he was in the remake of Fright Night.
Who?
Oh, yes, Antonio. Yelchin. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
He was in the remake.
Yeah.
He also played Kyle Reese in Terminator Salvation, which is pretty good.
I have not seen that.
Yeah.
I stopped the Terminator movies at some point after the third one, I think.
Yeah, this is right after the third one, the Salvation. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So yeah, he was in it. Yes.
Terminator Salvation. What was that?
That was the one with
Did they bring back Linda Hamilton or something?
No. That's the one where who is it? Christian Bale is playing
the adult
kid.
Yeah.
Kid. And here's the thing. There's this famous meme of what don't you fucking understand? He's yelling at some white guy or something.
Yeah, it's an actual recording. He went off. He was having a bad day, and he just went off on everybody.
Oh my god! Oh my god! But yeah, this movie it's somewhat entertaining, but its story is just insane,
and its style is so. It's I as I said before, I hate the term in character because whatever you're being presented, canon wise, suddenly becomes character. It expands it. And likewise, I want to say I really hate the style of this movie because it's not Star Trek, because you could make the same argument. And it's like, well, now Star Trek also includes this, but it's not Star Trek.
Right.
It's in poor taste.
It's only going to include that if it's well done.
And it's not. And I know, Alan, I think you're kind of fond of those car chase movies, and well, I mean, that's what they are.
Yes.
And you
intergalactic car chases. Yeah.
Well, make an intergalactic car chase movie. Cool. Where the Enterprise has to, accomplish something, and it's very Sulu-centric, and there's lots of fancy barrel rolls and things like that, because that's the nature of the movie. They have to bring back, a case of Romulan ale from across the border for the Federation president's birthday.
Eastbound and down.
Yeah, what the hell is a Texas County Mountie doing out here in the neutral zone? Kind of thing.
And they'll have Paul Williams as a Ferengi, a friendly Ferengi.
So good. Well, Pat McCormick's dead, but you have a CGI Pat McCormick.
You could.
And then you have Paul Williams in the same part.
That's right. Hey, I mean, the guy's in his 80s, but you just put a 10-gallon hat and a cheap suit on him, he's ready to go.
On Paul?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. He's down for anything, that guy. He's one of my heroes. He's a cool guy.
Yes, he's been sober for like an eon or two.
I know. And we forget, what an amazing songwriter.
Yes. Incredible songwriter.
Oh my gosh. So what's your favorite scene?
I like the thing. I like the whole thing between Spock and Bones.
Spock and Bones is for being on their own. I mean, that's a classic sitcom trope.
Yeah,
but it works.
That works. That's sort of a film within a film. You could have turned that into an imaginary sitcom, no doubt.
Yeah. One thing that we don't get to see, though, is that I do think Ethan Peck is a funnier actor than Zachary Quinto. I really like Ethan Peck a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And to see Ethan Peck and Carl Urban together, would have been just a hell of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. some of my favorite scenes in this involve the female alien, her introduction, her
You
backstory is
just
really
like that
good.
large head.
Yeah, yeah, she does.
Well, she's a honey. I mean, let's face it.
Oh
Big head is good head, right? Okay.
Well,
my
no.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Uh, but yeah, I like the planet. The planet cool looking design. Um, I mean, the villains look cool, but I mean, the story just
They don't do anything.
Right.
And such coincidence that the object that Kirk was negotiating about with the little people, it turns out to be the kid's like, oh,
Yeah.
hello, Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
But I got news for, these screenwriters. You're no Charles Dickens. Maybe a
Mhm.
news flash for them. Now, what a Dickensian Star Trek movie would be like is, well, you get the Bell Rebellion. You get the Bell Riders from DS9.
Mm.
That's a Charles Dickens, episode. Any of you see that Charles Dickens TV series, the one where all of the different no, where the different novels all met?
No.
I forgot what it was called. It looked really interesting,
Yeah.
but you had all of the characters interacting.
Well, they were all Londoners anyway, so
Yeah,
it makes sense you could
yeah,
actually probably pull that off with reasonable success.
yeah.
uh, what do you guys give this movie scale 1 to 10?
I give it a 3.
I give it a 6 because I just love a couple things in it.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give it a 6. It's not the greatest thing ever.
I
It's
have become the Daniel
No.
Roper.
No, it's the weakest of the three for sure. And if you could, uh, the first two movies, the second movie has flaws, but they're forgivable for me. This movie has flaws that they just don't. They just don't.
He's sad. I mean,
Mhm.
very few things make me as sad as to go on a Star Trek movie and not gush and goo and just be excited.
Yeah, it does. I mean, this movie was financially successful, so I don't know why. It certainly wasn't on that basis. I don't think. I think that's BS coming from the suits. Um, it's certainly not the ultimate reason why they haven't done a four. I think that has a lot to do with trying to get everybody together in a timely fashion, and it just didn't freaking happen.
It doesn't, but sometimes I wonder if even when a movie is financially successful, there's also that sense of cultural momentum.
There is, but that sometimes that's a judgment the suits will make too.
Oh yeah,
But also the suits may just decide, oh, I want to put my stamp on this now that I'm in here, and I don't want to do
well,
this Roddenberry stuff.
and we could have had that Tarantino Star Trek, which I think would have
Yeah,
just been perfect. I think Tarantino would have knocked it out of the park,
would have done something very different and innovative with it.
and yet very true.
And yet he was a huge fan of the show and also understood the show.
And it was going to be based on a piece of the action.
Yeah, which is great.
Imagine Chris Pine having fun in a piece of the action kind of
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you would have, and I bet you dollars to donuts, you would have gotten, guys like Van Zant and maybe even Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
As Oxmix and
Sure.
the other guy. I mean, that just you would have gotten great mob actors
right
for these parts.
Yeah.
How delightful! What a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been very interesting. I think there was also I don't know what, if any, salary issues there were with Pine or Quentin.
Oh, well, they got more expensive.
Yeah, I know that. But Pine ended up going with the Wonder Woman series, and I'm sure they paid him enormous amounts of money for that.
They did. And you know what? You see those movies, and it makes me really bemoan the death of the movie star. Because they've been talking about that. People don't go to the movies to see the new blank person's film.
Right.
And on one hand, maybe that's good that we have the death of this cult of personality. But at the same time, I like movie stars. And I like it when, it's a new Hugh Grant movie or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
The new Burt Young movie. And so everybody goes to see it. And not having that. And Anthony Mackie pointed that out. And he says, no one goes to see the new Anthony Mackie movie. They go see the new Falcon movie, and I would have to step in and say, and they don't even go see that.
Yeah.
They, well, I mean, it makes its own
Yeah.
gravy.
It does. Add water, makes its own sauce.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, okay, so here's some questions.
Yeah.
Do we want to sit through section 31? And I will tell you, it's but it would be there in the name of completism.
right.
Or we had discussed another franchise. And do we want to just maybe jump at that?
Jump into Star Wars.
Yeah. Jewel, you're the major domo of these things.
It's true. I'm up for anything.
What do you say?
Okay, well, is section 31 on Pluto or what?
Oh, let me check.
I don't know. I mean, are the other, Kurtzman Star Treks on Pluto?
See, I love Michelle Yeoh, and I watch her like toilet paper in somebody's house. I don't care, and she would do it with a plum anyway.
Classy dame.
But I understand this is
It's extraordinary.
controversial, let's say, among fans. Yeah,
I don't know anybody who likes it.
yeah,
Even people who like this kind of thing don't like it.
yeah.
But I mean, those, a lot of those people don't like Starfleet Academy, and it's supposed to be the balls. It's supposed to be
Yes, yes.
it's given how woman friendly it is, it was probably the wrong compliment to give it. But
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do section 31 or I'll do, Star Wars, whatever you want to do.
Jewel, it is up to you. Have we found out whether or not this thing is being publicly exhibited?
It's not on streaming. So let's do Star Wars.
So now here's the question of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to do these chronologically in terms of us or chronologically in terms of them?
In terms of us.
So start out 1977.
Start with A New Hope.
Yeah, A New Hope. Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's how I saw it too.
Star Wars.
If you get a chance and it's still out there, I would recommend, and I used to have it. I don't have it anymore. I don't know. It just disappeared from a hard drive or something. Apple does these things where it cleans itself up and you lose.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend looking for this. Type in 4K77.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a painstaking and visually beautiful recreation of the first film, done by fans to look exactly like it looked and be structured exactly as it was structured for audiences in 1977. It's a good way to see the movie.
No, it's a movie we need to do that too. When we get them start, we need to do Logan's Run. You ever see it?
I've seen it. It is my job to freeze you, Joel. Fruits of the sea. Well, we could have that in the interim. We could watch.
Well, eventually.
Run as a palate cleanser, because here it is. What's 1976, maybe early 77. So it's an interesting point of contrast.
Mm-hmm.
Let the studios do these things. You get Logan's Run. Let an independent filmmaker do it, and you get Star Wars.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, guys, are we good for tomorrow night?
We're gonna do Logan's Run.
No, for Star Wars.
We'll Star Wars. Yeah. Okay, I was taking. I took you.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
We will eventually do Logan's Run. We'll do Star Wars first. So yeah, tomorrow night, Star Wars. Yes, A New Hope. A New Hope. God damn it, because that's the order I saw it in too. So,
I saw it as Star Wars.
There you go.
It was just Star Wars.
Star Wars.
The name of the movie. That's what got the Academy Award nomination.
That's right. Not this. A New Hope was the hope that they would get another Academy Award for screwing around with it, I guess. But
I remember when that re-release came out in episode 4, A New Hope. What is this?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Talk.
Is there anything you guys want to add about this movie before we go?
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about it.
Link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Daybook and Bell is going to be in the description box. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel, College Sport After Dark, is going to be in the description box. You guys have a good night and stay safe.
No, wisely. Thank you, Joel.
Yep. Bye.